A lot of people are confused about what exactly a general strike is and what it's meant to achieve. So I'm going to explain it as best I can in under 90 seconds. The purpose of a general strike is not a day off from work or a short vacation. A general strike is a rallying of people not just to stop working, but to stop shopping, stop going to school, stop scrolling, because your scrolling on social media can be converted into ad dollars, and to flood the streets with protest blocking basic work from being done. If you read On Tyranny, 20 Lessons from the 20th Century by Timothy Snyder, it talks about how a dictator on their own does not manage and control an entire society. A dictatorship depends on multiple pillars supporting it, whether it is wealthy benefactors like the billionaire Broligarchy that we see established in Silicon Valley and elsewhere in the United States, whether it is the military in the form of Pete Hegseth or Dan Kane in the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, in the form of law enforcement officials such as Christine Nome, who is increasingly being called to resign and be replaced even by Republican politicians and other enablers around the country. The purpose of a general strike is essentially to create so much peaceful chaos, or as a former friend of Martin Luther King and the late Representative John Lewis said, good trouble, that the country cannot function at all. And so the levers of power are so resistant to the current leadership that the nation cannot function or get income that they will do anything in order to get the country working again. And that includes pushing for the resignation of the current national leadership. It's also worth noting that in recent general strikes against authoritarian regimes in Sudan and Ghana, that because they did not have employee rights, and if someone simply did not show up to work, then the employer could simply fire them and find somebody else with quite ease, several resistance fighters actually went to their job, sat at their station, and then simply refused to do any work. Now, yes, on Friday, January 30th, 2026, it was essentially an excuse to call in sick and have a 3-day weekend, but the ultimate goal of a general strike is to build up enough tolerance so that 3.5% or more of the population is ready to not only take off from work, but to flood the streets and cause so much peaceful unrest, aka good trouble, that the country cannot function for days or even weeks. If a full national general strike is called by appropriate leadership parties and individuals, then my plan is to take a prolonged leave of absence from work, drive my car into the middle of the nearest stoplight intersection, and park it there until I am told by authorities that I am required to move it or else I will go to jail. Because it is up to all of us, every single one of us, to resist tyranny and fascism in America.